What's up everyone, back for another vlog, and in today's vlog I will be showing you the Shelfie beers that I'll be reviewing for the month of September 2022. Now, Shelfie beers are beers from some of the bigger regional, national, and international breweries that I myself can walk in to my local beer or grocery store and pick right off the shelf. These are typically either year-round, rotating, or seasonal offerings. I try to stay away from like super limited beers that even if you get distro of the brewery in your neck of the woods, you might not see a specific limited beer. And every single Tuesday and Friday of each month, I review one of these Shelfie beers. And in the month of September 2022, there are 9 Tuesdays and Fridays, which means there are 9 beers in front of me. One thing I do want to mention before we go over these beers, you may notice that there are no Oktoberfest beers in front of me. Typically, Oktoberfest beers are already on the shelves in the summertime, typically in August. And the reason for that is because I picked up 8 Oktoberfest beers that I will be reviewing over the course of the official Oktoberfest celebration in Munich, Germany, that runs from Saturday, September 17th until Monday, October 3rd. I believe it's 17 days, and I have 8 beers, so basically one review every other day. And a couple days before the start of the official Oktoberfest, I will post a vlog video like this showing you the Oktoberfest beers that I will be drinking in case you can get your hands on some of them and want to drink along with me. I thought I would keep them separate from Shelfie beer reviews because I wanted to do all of them, and I wanted to review quite a few Oktoberfest beers this year because I did not bring back my channel in 2021 until sometime in, I think it was early October, and at that point I was already getting into like pumpkin beer mode. So I didn't do any Oktoberfest reviews last year, so I want to kind of make up for it, and we're going to review 8 this year. So the beers in front of me, like I said, Tuesdays, Fridays, you'll see these reviews, and they will be posted in order from your left to right. So this will be the first Shelfie beer of the month, and this will be the last. Now, I will say, as far as like the variety goes, a little bit more hop forward in September because that's kind of what I was drawn to just based on the beers I wanted to review, plus doing all those multi-balanced Oktoberfest beers later in the month. I thought we'll go a little hop heavy, so to speak, but there's some interesting hoppy beers here. So anyway, let's go over them real quick. The first one we have, and I debated putting this as a Shelfie beer, is from the Fiddlehead Brewing Company. They're out of Vermont, and this is their Fiddlehead IPA. So this is, they call it American IPA. It's probably going to be like a Vermont-style IPA. And earlier this year, I reviewed their second Fiddle, which was basically a Vermont-style double IPA. It was delicious. It's the only beer I've ever had from Fiddlehead, and we've been getting distribution from them now for maybe the past 2 years, but I never picked this one up. Now, the reason why I debated putting this one as a Shelfie beer is because I was kind of curious as to whether or not, their distro and whatnot. But here's the thing. According to the Brewers Association, in 2021, Fiddlehead was in the top 50 as far as U.S. craft breweries go in sales volume. They're actually 49th. So they do get out there. They sell a lot of beer. I will say this, though. If you're not in the Northeast or Mid-Atlantic region, you probably can't get your hands on Fiddlehead. I think they distro to like maybe 10 states max. But I thought I would put it in the Shelfie beers because technically this is a Shelfie beer. I picked this one off the shelf at a local Wegmans grocery store in their Mix of 6 area. So yeah, definitely a Shelfie. Really excited about this one. Like I said, never had it before. It's about, I think it's just under 6 weeks old, so pretty damn fresh. Next, we have one of the 2 beers. This one and the last beer, I kind of knew I was going to do as far as a Shelfie beer goes, and it comes from Stone Brewing, and it is their 26th anniversary Imperial IPA. They're calling it a triple dry hopped Imperial IPA. 26 years in the making, 9.7% alcohol by volume. And I know Stone got bought by Sapporo a couple months ago, and a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to buy their stuff. This, quality, this and that. I'm going to buy Stone stuff until I notice a drop-off in quality, if there is one. Some people, don't buy Stone stuff already. They don't like it as much. I've been revisiting a lot of their beers over the past couple years, and I still enjoy a lot of them. And I enjoy a lot of them more than I did in the past because I enjoy now more of the West Coast and bitter IPA. So I think I'm going to love this one. I don't know, we'll see, but I picked it up. It's quite fresh, and we're going to get to it as soon as possible. Next, we have another Shelfie brewery at this point. It's the 6 Point Brewery, and this is their iconic, I guess, I don't know if I call it flagship, but kind of flagship beer, Resin. Double IPA. What is the ABV on this one? 9.1%. Just a big resinous beer as far as I remember. Haven't had this one in a long time. When I started drinking craft beer back in like early 2010, late 2009, I don't remember getting into 6 Point right then. I think they came along a little later, but I'm thinking like 2013, 12, 13, 14, I drank a lot of their beer. They made a lot of different styles. It was a lot of fun. Over the years, their distro kind of dried up here, and you couldn't find a lot of their hop-forward beers fresh. Like if you found a Resin under 3 months old, you hit the lottery. So the fact that I can just pick this one off the shelf, again, Wegmans makes six-pack. It was just hanging out in the area, so I grabbed it, and it's relatively fresh, Best Buy of like January. So I'm really excited about that one. It's been a long time for that one. Next, we have a beer that I don't know if it's the same recipe. I don't know if it's the same beer, but it is from Southern Tier, and it is their Harvest, and they're calling this one an Autumn IPA. Now, they used to call this one a Harvest Ale, which would make sense, you know, in the fall time. But then they changed it to Harvest Special Ale back in like the mid 2010s, and now they call it an Autumn IPA. They used to reference this one as an English ESB, so extra strong bitter. I don't know if that's still the case, but we're going to find out. I don't know if they just wanted to go with the IPA acronym because it sells better, and an Autumn IPA maybe sounds better to the consumer than an English ESB, but I'm hoping it's the same recipe, just in a different label. This one has a Best Buy date of January 12th of 2023, so quite fresh. Next, we have a beer from Allagash. It's been a while since I've reviewed a beer from Allagash in general, and this is their Haunted House. So this is a hoppy dark ale. I don't know what that entails. They really don't say on the back, but I'm thinking maybe black IPA-esque, maybe like a hoppy porter, something like that. We'll talk more about it when we get in the review, but I've been eyeing this one since last year. I saw this one on the shelf, didn't grab it, saw it again this year. A couple times I went to the beer store, and finally I was just like, you know what, I'm grabbing it. I want to review it. So we're going to. Next, we have from Brooklyn, we have what they're calling their Brooklyn Pilsner, and they're calling it a crisp Pilsner. Now, I do not remember any kind of like recipe change, but I remember they used to have a their Brooklyn Pilsner. It was a completely different label, and it was in bottles. But I looked on Untappd, and there's two different versions of this one. There's a 4.6% version, and then there's a 5% version, and I have the 5% version. So I don't know what the difference is outside of the ABV being a little bit higher with this one. But yeah, I don't know. It's a Pilsner. I don't know if it's German style or Czech style or American Pilsner, but at the end of the day, I want to give that one a go because it sounds quite refreshing, and I think it has the Best Buy date of October of 2022, so coming in right out of the gun, and I haven't reviewed a Brooklyn beer in a while, so we're going to go with that one. Next, we have, and this is what I love about Shelfie beers, and the reason I do Shelfie beers and review them is, for lack of a better, I guess, word, is that it kind of forces me to review some of these beers from breweries that I don't drink as much anymore, and revisit some of the classics that I haven't had in years. Now, with Harpoons Beer right here, this is a beer that I've had my eye on for many, many years. I just never picked it up. So this year, I did. And it's their Flannel Friday. And just like the Allagash, they're calling this one, instead of a hoppy dark ale, a hoppy amber ale. Is this like Troegs Nugget Nectar, which is an imperial amber ale? It was basically an IPA. And I think they rebranded it as an actual IPA of some sort. Or is this going to be just a hop-forward amber ale? Is it going to be like a red IPA? Who knows? But it's a fall seasonal. It's relatively fresh, and I'm finally going to try it because why not? That's what Shelfie beers are for. And the one thing I've loved about Shelfie beer reviews is it's rekindled my love for certain styles, but also specific beers. And I've even been introduced to some new rotating and seasonal offerings that I didn't try, kind of like this beer. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm going to buy a bottle or two of that each year. So really cool to try that one. And I'm sure a lot of Harpoon drinkers out there, people who've had this one before, like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like a Shelfie turd, whatever. That's right. That's what this is all about. Anyway, next, we have a beer from Yuengling. It's their classic dark brewed porter. I've had this one numerous times before. This is, I believe this is the base for their Hershey's chocolate porter, which I really like. I do think I said in the review of that, though, is I wish I had a better base. So maybe. I've had this one before, and I've never been blown away by this beer, but I've always felt it was like a really good introductory beer or beginner beer for someone, you know, trying out craft beer and wanting to get into craft beer. And I've always enjoyed it for what it is. This one, though, you can't see it on camera, but it has a date on it. It's like the black printing font on, you know, basically a dark beer in a brown bottle. But I believe this was bottled on July 31st. So about a month old right now by the time I get into it, maybe like 6 weeks. Pretty fresh for Yuengling. A lot of times if you buy singles, you're talking 3, 4, 5, 6 months old, so that's pretty fresh. Last but not least, we have from Ommegang, again, along with the Stone beer, an anniversary beer, 26th anniversary for Stone, the 25th anniversary for Ommegang, and this is their 25th anniversary ale. So, calling this one Imperial Amber Ale with orange peel, grains of paradise, and coriander. Exact same ingredients in their Rare Voss, which is a Belgian-style amber ale. And I think this is just an imperial version of that beer, honestly. I didn't read much about it. It's 9%, best by April 12th of 2023. Yeah, it looks like this was then bottled on, that's July 12th of 2022. So right now, this is about 6 weeks old, give or take, just over 6 weeks old. So anyway, I wanted to grab this one because I saw it get released and I'm like, it's an Ommegang anniversary ale. Let's get into it. So I think this is, again, an imperial version of their Rare Voss, which I've reviewed on the channel. Really like that beer. So I'm hoping it's just as good, if not better. I don't know if that beer needed to be imperialized, but here we are. So anyway, these are the 9 beers that I'll be reviewing this month for Shelfie Beer Reviews. What was I going to say? I had something lined up and then, if you want to grab any of these beers and drink along with me, if you get these in your area. Again, I try each month to grab stuff that is relatively fresh to some degree. Sometimes you can't always do that with Shelfie beers, and I've mentioned that before. And stuff that either I haven't had before or that I have before but have never reviewed. And with all of these beers, I've either had them before but never reviewed them or never had them. And I tried to mix it up as best as I can. Again, we have a Imperial Belgian Amber Ale. We have a American Porter. We have a Pilsner. We have a Hoppy Amber Ale, Hoppy Dark Ale, an Autumn IPA, and then a couple double IPAs and a regular IPA. So again, a little bit more hop forward. It is what it is. Oktoberfest reviews in the second half of the month. In addition to that, I bought some other, more local or harder to get and more expensive beer that I will be dropping reviews of over the course of the month as well. Next month, I will be doing my 10 Days of Pumpkin, the 5th annual 10 Days of Pumpkin. Can't believe it's been 5 years already. I already have like 4 or 5 beers lined up for that. I may post another vlog before the end of the month. I might need your help on pumpkin beers this year. If I can't find 10, I might need some folks to maybe do a beer exchange with me, and so I can get a couple that I've been wanting to try for a while and never get my hands on them. We'll see if that is necessary, but running out of pumpkin beers because this is the 5th year. I think I've drank something like 45 to 50 different pumpkin beers through the first 4 years. So, the shelves around here, I've tried most of the stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. Anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by for another vlog. This is going to be a little bit longer, again, talking about Oktoberfest and whatnot, and 10 Days of Pumpkin, this and that, but whatever. You see the beers here. A lot of people only watch a couple minutes. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't. If you did watch to the end, let me know. Which one are you most interested in of the ones I have here? Are you looking forward to the Oktoberfest reviews? Because I totally am. And I appreciate everybody stopping by for another vlog. And until the next one, cheers.